Hello, it's Buck at SoCal Motorcycle Services. Today we are going to do prepping on this 2008 Honda VFR 800. The customer bought it a few months ago. Turned out that the seller did some weird things and it overheated, blew the head gaskets. So instead of struggling with replacing the head gaskets and possibly a warped aluminum motor because it was severely overheated, we decided to just replace the motor. We ordered a motor online. It's a used motor, but it's got low miles, and it's been tested, and it was a fraction of the cost of rebuilding this motor, and it's going to be reliable. So this video is going to go into prepping for the engine swap. It's a big motor. It's a V4. It's very heavy. It's about 200 pounds. Most of the weight of the bike is the motor. So what you have to do on a Honda VFR, first thing you do is drain all the fluids. Coolant, gas, and oil. Then you start taking things off. First thing you do is you take off the seat. Bingo. Take off the fuel tank. Fuel tanks on fuel-injected motorcycles usually have quick disconnect fuel lines. On the VFR 800, nope. You have to, it's bolted in with a banjo bolt, the fuel line. And as soon as you pull that out, fuel starts pouring out. So you have to completely drain the tank. Refer back to one of my videos on the siphon pump that I bought from Amazon for $10. Drain the tank literally in a minute. Those things, I've used that thing a bunch of times since I bought it. Go check that out. It's called the siphon. Okay, so we take off the tank. Then we have to take off the complete body work. You take off both side panels, you take off the tail, because we're going to lift the bike from the back here. So you have to take off the tail. Then you have to take off the air box and the intake. Start unplugging all of the wire harness. Remove vacuum lines. Make sure you make note of where everything goes. Then we have to, and this is going to be all prep that we can do on the side, on the center stand, because as you'll learn in a moment, we're not going to be able to use the center stand. So we have to drain the oil because we have to take off oil lines that feed the oil pan to the oil cooler on both sides of the bike. Then you have to take off things like the foot controls. You have to take off the coolant reservoir. Have to take off the what else you have to take off? You have to take off the radiators and the radiator hoses. That's why you have to drain the coolant. We have to, just all to prepare. So it takes, you have to take off the exhaust. The exhaust is crazy on this thing. So it has 4 exhaust headers that feed into this serpentine can that goes up to the mufflers that are up and under, out the back of the bike. Had to remove all that. Of course, it's a 2008, so a lot of the bolts were frozen. So used a lot of what did we use? We used some WD-40, but you need a really good penetrant. So we used PB Blaster. It knocks the rust out and penetrates everything. If you look down here, this is where one of the oil lines is for the cooler, and there's one on the other side. Now, basically, we've done everything you can do on the center stand. The reason why you can't use the center stand or the kickstand is because it's it's attached to the motor. So basically, the motor is held in by a couple of bolts, and then the swing arm and everything's attached to the motor. And so we're going to have to take off the swing arm and the center stand. To do that, we're going to have to lift the bike, and you stick a rod through here, and you lift the bike up with a engine hoist. So basically, you lift the bike off of the motor. But I'll show you the video. I'm probably going to do a video of me just physically taking out the old motor and putting in the new motor. We're going to have to transfer a lot of the things from the old motor to the new motor. But it's a decently fun project. So let me get you some close-ups and do a slow pan of some things. Okay. So here's the motor. Sorry, Daniel. Daniel's getting in the way. Hey, buddy. There's the motor. This block right here holds the swing arm to the motor and the center stand and the kickstand. That's why we're going to have to lift the bike up. And this had side radiators, 2 radiators, 1 on each side. Those are gone. There's the front head. We'll detach the coils on the front and the rear. The coils are back here for the rear head, right there. And then we're just going to pull the motor out. One of the party pieces of this bike that I love is it has a single-sided swing arm. So if you look at the wheel, it's not supported by anything on this side. You take it off just like a car with the lug nuts. Then you get it over here, and there's the swing arm. So we're going to have to take off the foot pegs. We're going to take off this front sprocket, and so we can loosen the chain, take the chain off, because all that's going to go. You have to remove the sprocket cover, which also holds the slave cylinder for the hydraulic clutch. And you got to take off here's the water pump. That's where you drain it. The new motor comes with a water pump because the guy who owned it before my customer must have overheated it, blew a head gasket, and when I drained the coolant, it had all kinds of metal flakes in it from where he tried to seal the head gaskets with this sealant, with the Bardol radiator leak sealant, head gasket sealant. So I'm glad we flushed all. We're going to get all of that out of the new one, because I think it was also eating the fuel pump, causing a restriction. There's the oil line on this side, goes into the oil pan. And we're going to leave on, if we can get away with it, the throttle bodies, because it's almost impossible to get to the bolts to loosen the throttle bodies to take it out. But we should have enough clearance to just drop it out with the motor and put it back onto the new motor. And if I didn't mention it, always take off the negative cable first when you're working on a bike. That way you can't short anything out. But yeah, the bike looks a lot smaller without that bodywork. Yeah, it's going to be a fun project. It's going to take an actual week of physically doing things, but I've been spreading it out a little bit. But so stay tuned in the next couple of days for the actual engine drop, and hopefully, cross your fingers, it'll go well and easy. Everything's been going straightforward. It's just labor intensive. And also found out that he was having some electrical system problems. This is the stator to the voltage regulator wire, and it's been cooked. So he's getting the new motor, comes with a new stator, and it burned a hole through it. It got so hot. So we're going to have to get another voltage regulator plug. Hondas tend to do that. If you have an electrical problem with a Honda, check where the stator plugs into the voltage regulator. That connector cooks a lot of times. A lot of times we just cut them out and hardwire them together. So yeah, that's what the bike looks like. Half assembled. And there's a lot of things you have to take apart. But right. So here again, we're at SoCal Motorcycle Services. If you wanted a quick peek at the motor, let's do that for you. There's some of the parts. That's the motor that's going in the bike. It's a large motor, but they tested it, and it was pretty good. There's the exhaust, crazy exhaust, and there's the bike. So have a good day, and we'll check in with you in the next week or so, and hopefully things will go well. Say bye to Daniel. Bye, Daniel. Have a good day.